everyone, and welcome to Shlime Reviews. I'm Shlime, and in this video, I will be reviewing Peachybbies. But first, if you're new to my channel, I want to again say welcome. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment if you enjoy this content. And now for our Shlime fam shoutouts. There are two of you, PCW Slimy and the Fidget Pharaoh. Thank you so much for all the support, and if you'd like a shout out like this, comment down below #ShlimeFam. And with that, let's get into this review. This package got here to me in 10 days, which is so fast. This is from their Black Friday deal they had last year. The deal was buy 5 slimes, get 3 free. I wound up paying $86.50 with shipping and the Black Friday deal, which saved me $40 for 8 7-ounce slimes, 2 being do-it-yourself slimes. It's been almost a year now since I've reviewed this shop. They've had great Black Friday deals over the years I've had my eye on them, so that's definitely something to keep in mind if you're interested. I am just so excited to do this review. And a quick FYI, this review will be made as 2 different parts because I would like to take my time going over each slime. Getting into this package, everything arrived in an adorable custom labeled box. The colors on the box remind me of strawberry lemonade. There's also an adorable design inside of the box as well. There wasn't any bubble wrap, but there were packing peanuts, which were a peachy pink color, and everything did arrive safely. They also included a lovely amount of extras, one being their business card, which had care instructions on the back. They also included an activator pin, stickers, a wristband, which I also received in my last order from them, and you can never have enough of these. These types of wristbands are slime proof, so slime doesn't really stick to them, and I love it. And lastly, they included a super cool, large strawberry squishy, which I am so in love with. They were very kind to include so many extras when 3 slimes were already free from this deal, and the labeling on all of the slimes were individually designed, which is a great touch. The labeling is based around the theme of the slime, and they are slime proof, which means you can get slime on the labels and it doesn't affect the design. I always love seeing that from slime shops. It's very professional. This shop has also changed the look of their containers since I last ordered from them, and I love the new look. In the past, the labeling was at the bottom of their containers because they were flatter, but it made it difficult to see what slime was what when stored away, so I really love this new change because the labeling is on the side of the containers. And the 8 slimes that I ordered are Snow Fairy Cake, Iceburg Float, which is a do-it-yourself slime, Iced Water, Hot Cheetos Crisp, Sour Watermelon Freeze, Rose Therapy Butter, Frozen Honey Jelly, and Sugar Cookie Ice Cream Sandwich, which is another do-it-yourself slime. The 4 slimes I will be reviewing in this video are Snow Fairy Cake, Ice Water, Sour Watermelon Freeze, and Iceberg Float. This is more of a chili-themed review, and I am super excited to get into this. Also, as a reminder, I save the ASMR till the end of the video, but feel free to use the chapters to skip around as you'd like. And with that, let's open these slimes. The first slime we're going to look at is Snow Fairy Cake. The price listed for this is $13.50 for a 7-ounce size, and this is a holiday exclusive slime from Peachybbies. This is described as a dense and drizzly dough-like texture, which is scented as Snow Fairy. The add-ins were also sprinkle mix, a fairy charm, and glitter. The theme is a cute idea of a snow fairy mixed with a cake, and I just love the layered look to this. It has a beautiful pink color as the top layer and a light yellow at the bottom, which makes this look like a pastry. The scent is also so strong and delicious. At first it smelled like hibiscus to me, but as I played with it more, it reminded me of sweet tarts or just candy in general. It's a very sweet, delicious scent. When I first went to poke the slime, it has a very slight wet feeling, but that can be normal with clay slimes like this, and it really wasn't bad at all. The add-ins included a charm, which was obvious to see on the slime, but it was a little difficult to clean off and to see what exactly the charm was. Eventually, I was able to tell that it was a fairy wand, which is an adorable addition to this theme. The other add-ins were cute star and cloud Fimo slices, along with pink and yellow plastic sprinkles and iridescent glitters, and they were all on top of the slime already. And they just looked so beautiful with that pink color. This was very fun to mix together, and this does leave a tiny bit of instant snow residue on my hands and table while playing, but that's very common with textures like this and just something to keep in mind. This is also just perfect for beginner slimers. It's very holdable and doesn't require a lot of maintenance as this ages. Some of the chunky glitters did stick to me a little bit, but that's also common and just something to note from this. This texture mixes into a very vibrant pink color and is definitely drizzly. This texture is sort of like a cloud slime but more doughy. It feels so fluffy when you press down after a drizzle. This is just so soft, smooth, and spreadable, yet overall is a quiet slime. There's light finger pokes you can get from this, but no sizzles or pops. This doesn't inflate, so you won't need a spare container for afterward. This is also aging great and is basically the same as what you see here after having it sit around for a couple weeks. I definitely recommend this as it is a top favorite slime of mine from this order. So for Snow Fairy Cake, that is a beautiful 10 out of 10 slime. The next slime we're going to look at is Iced Water. The price listed for this is $13.50, and this is a 7-ounce size. The texture is described as a clear Jellycube, thick jelly-like texture. This is scented as sweet water. The add-ins included is a ice cube charm and sprinkle mix. The theme is of course based around iced water. And I just love the color of the blue clear slime with jelly cubes. It looks a lot like cartoon water. It's not too clear, but that's probably due to it being scented. It was cool to see the ice cube charm in the slime though. Along with these flat, round, white sprinkles. This also has a bunch of iridescent fine blue glitters in this, but the camera doesn't really pick it up well, and I'm a little sad that it doesn't because it is just so beautiful. There's a lot included in this. The scent is also strong and sweet. I enjoy it a lot, and at first it reminded me of vanilla, but the more I played with it, it kind of just reminded me of sugar. This slime looks so glossy as I go to play with it, and it is just so beautiful. The clear texture was a tiny bit sticky though, and it needed a little bit of activating. The jelly cubes were so fun to squish. It took a little effort to squish them, but it was still so satisfying. This texture makes great finger pokes and clicky bubble pops. This would tear a little while stretching, yet overall was easy to stretch. It could just be due to how many jelly cubes were added to this. And again, I just love squishing those cubes as it is just such a fun thing to add to the experience. The more the jelly cubes were squished, this started to look more like crushed ice water. The ice cube charm was also obvious in the slime and comes out of the slime easy, but I don't recommend playing with it in the slime because it is pretty bulky and hard. This texture does become tackier as I play with it more, yet overall it has a good stretch and fun pops that aren't too loud. It was just a little bit of a struggle to not have slime stuck to my hands while playing, even with activator on my hands, but this does inflate a good amount, so that does make some sense for the tackiness, and you will need a spare container for the extra slime afterward. This does become so squishy when fluffed up and creates nice clicky bubble pops and crackles. This also turns into a lighter blue color and looks more like a snow theme by the end of playing, which I just love. It goes with the chilly theme of this video. I recommend that this is not for beginner slimers as this was constantly sticky and a bit difficult to manage. If you're experienced though, it's still fun. It just had a constant stickiness to it. Yet overall this is aging well. After having it sit around for a couple weeks, it definitely looks like crushed ice water when it's cleared up again. But this was the same as when it arrived in the sense where it's still constantly sticky. And that could be due to maybe the fragrance that was used in the slime. And overall, it's really not too bad, but it's definitely something to keep in mind. So for iced water, just because the stickiness was constant, I do have to fault this a tiny bit. So I am going to give this slime a 9 out of 10 slime. The next slime we're going to look at is Sour Watermelon Freeze. The price listed for this is $13.50, and this came in a 7-ounce size. This is described as a soft, icy texture, which is scented as sweet watermelon, the add-ins being watermelon sprinkles and glitter. The theme looks so much like a watermelon sorbet to me, and I just find the layered coloring on this to just be so cute. That neon pink is just beautiful on top. The bottom has a neon yellowish green hue to it, but either way, it looked awesome with the pink. When I opened this, I instantly smelt a light, delicious, sweet scent that reminded me of watermelon candy. It was definitely one of my favorite scents from this order. The add-ins are adorable watermelon Fimo slices, pink plastic sprinkles, and iridescent glitters. I just can't say enough that I just love the look to this. When I went to touch the slime, it's definitely a wet icy texture, yet when I took it out of the container, it didn't leave any residue behind, which is a great sign of this not being an overly wet icy. This was fun to mix the colors together, and this turns into a light pale peachy pink, which is very pretty. The texture itself, though, is not very sizzly. As I would fluff this up, it didn't make any sounds, really. It reminded me more of a cloud slime when I would fluff it up, honestly. There was a lot of instant snow residue left on my hands and table, which can be common with textures like this, and it was very easy to clean up afterward. This texture can make some finger pokes if done just right, and also light bubble pops if done just right too. This is very fun to squish and is just so fluffy and soft as it drizzles down. The only thing I was just a tiny bit sad about was the lack of sizzles, as this is overall a very quiet slime. But I do love the drizzle that it creates, as this really reminds me more again of a cloud texture. This stretches very well and just smells so delicious. This is also holdable and is great for beginner slimers. This doesn't inflate and doesn't become tacky too, so you won't need a spare container for afterward. I do recommend this slime, but to someone who enjoys a drizzly, wet, icy texture, as this is aging great and is just about the same as what you see here after sitting around for a couple weeks. It just, again, reminds me more of a cloud slime, but I still consider this a top favorite slime of mine from this order because of the aesthetic, the scent, and how fun it is to drizzle. So for Sour Watermelon Freeze, although this is more drizzly than most icy textures I've had, it's not a bad slime and I really enjoyed it still, so I am giving this slime a 10 out of 10 slime. The last slime we're going to look at in this review is Iceburg Float, which is a do-it-yourself float slime. The price listed for this is $14.50. And this is a winter exclusive slime from Peachybbies. This came with a 7-ounce clear slime base and a 1-ounce icy texture, and this is described as resulting in a light and squishy jelly. They did recommend this for experienced slimers, which is good because jelly slimes, especially float slimes, tend to be a lot tackier than other slimes, and just a little trickier to work with when they're inflated. The scent for this is also listed as a frozen water, and the add-ins are Icecube charm and a whale charm. The theme for this slime is an iceberg, which is a very cool concept. Get it? Cool. The clear slime wasn't scented and overall was very clear, but it did have a decent amount of bubbles still in it. I was also able to see the Icecube charm and the whale charm in the clear base, which was a very cool detail. I love that the white icy texture came in its own separate container because that's not something that happens often when you order a float slime. And the fact that it was in a whole other container like that was a very professional touch that I'm grateful for. The white icy texture is scented and it's light and sort of perfumey. This texture also had iridescent glitters on top and some cute penguin Fimo slices. And this is a slightly wet, icy texture. The clear slime was thick and not sticky. I poked at it a little bit to enjoy that clear texture, but I didn't poke at it too much because I didn't want a lot of bubbles added to this before mixing the icy texture with it. The icy texture was sizzly and it stretched very well. Putting it on the clear base with the penguin Fimo slices was just perfect for the theme. It's just so stinking cute, and this was fun to mix together, and it looked very glossy while mixing. The end result is a white jelly slime, and the color really goes with the snowy theme. This stretches very easily and becomes a thick jelly texture, but it did quickly become tacky as well, like most jelly slimes tend to do. This gave amazing finger pokes and great bubble pops, and although it is common for float slimes to be tacky, this was definitely just difficult to manage and took away from the experience a little bit for me, and even with activator on my hands, it was just a struggle. This does inflate a lot though, so the tackiness is understandable, and you will need a spare container for extra slime afterward. I definitely do not recommend this for beginners, but if you're an advanced slimer that likes float slimes, this might be right up your alley. It's just like I said, a bit tricky to manage. The charms were easy to remove from the slime though, and I don't recommend playing with the charms in the slime because especially the Icecube, it's just a bit bulky. I realized later on that they really only included 3 penguin Fimo slices, which, just being a bit picky, I do wish they added more penguin Fimo slices to this because they're very cute to see while you're playing with the slime. This texture makes some great crackles by the end when you have it inflated, and this is very soft and squishy. I wasn't a huge fan of the scent since it was perfumey, but I didn't hate it either. After having this sit around for a couple weeks, this cleared up to be a white jelly slime, and you can see the glitter from the icy texture throughout the slime as well, and that really adds to the look of ice. The aesthetic is just very adorable and on point, even after mixing this all together. This slime is still a bit tacky after having it sit around for a couple weeks, but as long as you have activator nearby, this is still very fun to play with and creates just awesome loud bubble pops and an amazing easy stretch. And although the tackiness maybe took away from the experience for me, I still wound up loving the slime just because of how much thought went into this theme, and I can't blame a float slime for becoming tacky. That is just too common for me to be upset about. So for Iceburg Float, I'm not going to fault this for the tackiness because it is so common, but there were a lot of bubbles in the clear slime before mixing, and that also took away from the experience while I was mixing this. So just being picky, I am going to fault this slime for that reason. I am going to give this slime a 9 out of 10 Shlime. Thank you so much for watching my video, and keep a lookout for part 2. I'm very excited to finish this Peachybbies review in a couple weeks. So far, so good though. I have 2 top favorite slimes out of 4 that I've reviewed so far, and those odds are definitely great. The slimes that I like from the shop, I really like from the shop, and I just cannot wait to share the rest. But I do have links down below to their Instagram and shop. Also, if you're curious, I'm on Instagram too, and TikTok. So follow me if you'd like to see Shlime, and just Shlime. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.